the biggest thing in your life just happened unasked. Maybe you're chosen. How will it happen to us? It is not a question of anybody's choosing anything for you. It is just that if you keep your intellect unidentified with anything, starting from your body, if you do not even identify yourself with the body, that if you do not look at yourself not even as a man or a woman, your family, your qualifications, your society, your caste, creed, community, nation, whatever, a million other identifications that you take on in your life. If you do not identify your intellect, I grew up in such a way right from my childhood because of my memory, because I could remember things that happened when I was just 2-3 months of age. It just didn't allow me to be like a normal child, I thought like an adult.
It is not a small event that anybody can miss. You may not know whether you're born or not born, but if you get enlightened, you will know. Birth will happen many times, this will happen only once. If enlightenment happens, how do we know it has happened? Suppose we are hallucinating to be enlightened. If such a thing happens, it will be clearer than daylight. It's not something that you can miss. It is not that kind of an event that you could miss it. You will not miss it. But when I say this, there is a problem attached to this because these days it is going on in many places. For a certain fee, within a weekend's time, you can get enlightened. You'll be declared enlightened by somebody. Really it's happening everywhere. If you just pay a certain amount of money, one weekend you can get enlightened. I remember in the 60s, in the 1960s, in California, people set up certain businesses, enlightenment services. The advertisement I remember very well. If you go to India, it will take 12 years of hardship. Okay. $50, 30 minutes, you can get enlightened. They were just using psychedelic machines. You put up certain visuals and certain sounds, it'll just blow your mind apart. Because of the sounds and the visuals, when you come out, you come in a daze. You feel like you have really gotten somewhere. This used to be the advertisement. $50, 30 minutes. If you go to India, 12 years of hardship. Here, it's California, quick, new technology. These 1960 machines, this old technology has now infiltrated into India. Some people have installed these machines and they are claiming within a weekend they can enlighten you. You cannot hallucinate about it. If you're sincere, you would know that it is not so. But if it's a part of the race that you want to get enlightened before somebody, of course you can declare, I'm enlightened. It is just that these kind of deceptions are not new on the planet. They've been happening for a long time. But now modern technology has come to aid them better, to give them an expanded sense of many things. Much experimentation was done during the 60s and 70s about these things. One is with the psychedelic machines, another is with psychedelic drugs. You take an LSD and people claim they're enlightened because they had an expanded sense, just for a while, and then they came back. If they overdid it, then they lost everything, they cracked up in so many ways or even died. Many people mentally cracked up because of excessive use of psychedelic drugs. But for those few moments, they really felt enlightened, or at least they thought so. This is not something that you do. This is not something that you can do. It is just that if you cultivate the system, your body, mind, emotion and energy to its peak possibility, then an absolutely wonderful flower blossoms within you. Not something that you did, you just waited with the right kind of conditions and it happened. There's a very beautiful story in the yogic lore. On a certain day, 4 men were walking in the forest. These 4 men were walking in the forest. One is a Gnana yogi, another is a Bhakti yogi, another is a Karma yogi, and the last one is a Kriya yogi. These 4 people can never stay together. They cannot be together. Because a Gnana yogi means yoga of intelligence. He is a man of intellect, great intellect. He has complete disdain for everybody. He thinks everybody is a fool. Especially these bhakti yogis who are doing Ram Ram or whatever, in his mind they look like utter idiots. He can't stand them. Isn't it? Do you think? Could that man stand bhakti yogis? No, he wouldn't stand. He just can't tolerate them. Bhakti yogis, people of devotion, they have pity for everybody. Because when God Himself is here, you're doing all this mental circus and physical circus. It's just stupid, isn't it? Just hold God's hand and walk into heaven. So bhakti yogis have pity for everybody, for all the foolishness that they're doing. Karma yogis think all these other people are just lazy people. Because if you want something to happen, you have to do it. Because they're lazy and unwilling to do what they need to do, they have invented all these other yogas. Because in the world, if anything has to happen, you must do it, right? Action. These are yoga of action, karma. Kriya yogis have utter disdain for everybody because after all, the whole existence is energy. Unless you transform the energy, how will anything change? Where is the possibility? So, these 4 people can never be together. But today they were walking together. Suddenly a thunderstorm broke loose, a rainstorm, rain started lashing from every side. They started running, looking for shelter. The bhakti yogi said, "There is an ancient temple in this direction, let's go there for shelter." He always knows the geography of temples. He won't miss a single temple. So they all trusted him and ran in the direction. Then they found an ancient temple where the walls had collapsed long ago. Just a few columns and a roof was there. And in the center, there was a deity, God's image. They ran into this place, not because they were seeking God, not in any kind of love for God, just to escape the rain. They ran in. And then they stood there for a while. Then they found the rain started lashing from every direction. Wherever they stood or sat, the rain was getting at them. So the only place where they could sit was around the deity. So all 4 of them just hugged the deity and sat. not because they have fallen in love with God, simply to escape the rain. Suddenly, God appeared. In all their four minds, the same question, why now? We did so much yoga, we did so much puja, worship and so many things. You didn't come then. Now when we're just escaping the rain, why now? And God said, at last you four idiots got together. Without these four things getting together within you, your head, your heart, your hands and your energy, unless it all falls into place, unless all of it reaches its peak, it will not happen. And if it happens, is there any chance that I may not notice it? There is no such thing. Even if you're blind, you know the sun has come up, isn't it? Yes?
Yes.
Even if you're blind, you still know the sun has come up because nobody can miss it. It is not a small event that anybody can miss. You may not know whether you're born or not born, but if you get enlightened, you will know. It's much bigger than that. Birth will happen many times. This will happen only once.
People keep telling me this, Sadhguru, for you, the biggest thing in your life just happened unasked. Maybe you're chosen. How will it happen to us? It is not a question of anybody's choosing anything for you. It is just that if you keep your intellect unidentified with anything, starting from your body, if you do not even identify yourself with the body, that if you do not look at yourself not even as a man or a woman, your family, your qualifications, your society, your caste, creed, community, nation, whatever, a million other identifications that you take on in your life, if you do not identify your intellect or if you do not encumber your intellect with any of these identifications, every human being will naturally lead himself on to his ultimate nature. There is no other way. When we started the home school, the first questions that came up is this going to be a spiritual school? Are you going to teach them spirituality? I said, that's one thing we won't do. There are variety of corruptions on the planet, but the spiritual and religious corruption has always been the most damaging because you get so strongly identified with this. Once this identification happens, you can't look beyond it. It encumbers your intellect. So if children are brought up without any sense of identity, you will see every human being will naturally lead himself towards his enlightenment. I must share this, I hope it is received with the necessary understanding, because this was a certain moment of intimacy, a certain moment of many things that cannot be expressed. I was just 14 years of age. My mother was a very devout, dedicated woman. For her whole life was her husband and 4 children, and she never thought anything about herself, she just gave her life to us. So there was no need for her to ever express that I love you or anything, such a thing was never expected. Whether she loves you or not is never a question, because her whole life is for you. So there's no question of whether she loves you or doesn't love you. Such a question never occurred in anybody's minds. I developed a kind of relationship with her where though I was the youngest in the family, I was like her elder brother in many ways. She would share things that she wouldn't share with anybody. And when I took advantage of that and joked, she would always regret, why am I sharing these things with you? So on a certain day, because of some interaction, somehow she grew a little tender in her heart and she expressed her love to me. Not necessarily now I love you business, somehow. I grew up in such a way right from my childhood because of my memory, because I could remember things that happened when I was just 2, 3 months of age. It just didn't allow me to be like a normal child. I thought like an adult. So because of this, nobody could take me on their lap, nobody could fondle me, nobody could carry me. I always preferred to walk and do my own things. Even though my brother and sister were older to me, were used to be carried and fondled and all that, I did not get those things because somehow it was difficult to do those things to me. I'm still difficult, see. So this relationship was very different from normal thing, but that day she was somehow some tenderness and she wanted to express. She expressed something towards me. I simply asked, for me it was just very matter of fact. I just asked her, if I was born in the next house, would you still feel like this about me? She just broke down, it hurt her very much. She broke down and went away. I didn't intend to hurt her, I just asked a simple question, which these questions are constantly going on in me about everything, not just about one thing. And after some time, she came, still tears in her eyes, she came and fell at my feet, and then she went away. I said, that's good for her, some kind of realization within herself. Why I'm saying this is, our ways of thinking and feeling are so deeply identified with things we are associated with. Our body, our parentage, our children, our wife, our husband, our home. Not just that, with just about anything, isn't it? With just anything and anything. I remember my grandfather used to always eat in a gold-rimmed plate. A very rich man and a very proud man. If at any time for some reason, even when he travels, another traveling gold plate has to travel with him. Suppose that plate is not there, he just won't eat. He cannot eat. The same damn food. What is the problem? Whether you eat in a gold plate or a steel plate. Okay, you want to do things in style, it's okay. But the identification with something as simple as that is so deep that if he eats on another plate, he will become sick. His stomach will be disturbed. Your identifications are so very deep with big things and small things. Once you're identified like this, your mind is a mess of a circus. It will never raise to any great peak or pitch, it will be just a mess. Once you're very deeply identified, it is better not to insult the circus by calling your mind a circus. It's more a mental diarrhea. Non-stop, it is just going on endlessly. This cannot be stopped with a pill. People have tried the drink, the drug, all kinds of things, but it cannot be stopped that way. Only when you get disidentified, when you're able to be involved but not entangled, only then this is possible. Right now, because somewhere people realized that this identification is causing so much trouble, immediately they started giving you an antidote: detachment. The moment you detach yourself, your ability to experience life also is gone. Because life can only be experienced with involvement. Where there is no involvement, there is no life. Is that so? The deeper the involvement, the deeper the experience of life. However small the event may be, however small a piece of life may be, if you are deeply involved, it's a very great experience for you. Nothing dramatic or spectacular need to happen in your life. If you're deeply, deeply involved with the simplest aspect of your life, you will see every aspect of your life is spectacular. So involvement is the only way to experience life. No involvement, there is really no life. But why is so much detachment being taught everywhere? Fear of entanglement. It is from that fear detachment is always being propagated. If you detach yourself from life, you're avoiding life. If you really want to avoid life, there are more efficient ways to do it. You know, you can jump off a mountain, you can consume poison, you can hang yourself. Whatever we do, we must do it efficiently, isn't it? If you want to really avoid life, you just have to hang yourself. What is the idea? Are you here to experience life or are you here to avoid life? Which way is it? Experience life? Can you experience life unless you're involved? But right now there is a fear of entanglement. If I involve myself, maybe I'll get entangled. Entanglement has happened because of the discriminatory nature of your involvement. You're only involved with this one, not with that one. Your involvement is coming from a certain identification. I am involved with this person because this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my child, this is my home, this is my that. It is coming because of a certain identity. Otherwise, there's no involvement with life. It is the identification which is causing the entanglement, not the involvement. If your involvement is beyond your identification, you will see involvement brings absolute joy of life. If your involvement was indiscriminate, you were simply involved with every life around you just the same way, the very air that you breathe, the very land that you're standing on. If you are deeply involved, you will see involvement enhances life in a tremendous way. If life is not enhanced within you, all the higher possibilities of life also will never happen to you. In the process of becoming spiritual or trying to be spiritual, lot of people have become like goats. I don't want to insult goats because if you practice how not to be involved with life, then slowly you will become more and more lifeless, less of life as days go by. Too much of mind, very little of life. As life recedes in you will see nothing fantastic can ever happen. Only if life is exuberantly happening within you, it can carry you to higher possibilities. So mind is not a cap on life. Mind is a way to liberate life. Just now also, everywhere you go, you must control the mind. Your mind need not be controlled. Your mind needs to be liberated. But unfortunately, we are always thinking of controlling the mind. People are talking about, I want to become no mind. It's a very misunderstood concept. It took millions of years to evolve this mind. Why do you want to become no mind now? Simply because you're not able to handle the torture of your mind. If your mind was ecstasy, would you want to become no mind? If your mind was the means to your blissfulness, would you want to become no mind? Only because it's become a mess, you want to become no mind, isn't it? Only because you're seeing it as a barrier, not as a stepping stone, you want to become a no mind. Mind is not a barrier. Mind is a tremendous possibility. It is because without addressing and understanding the fundamental nature of the mind, we are trying to go about handling it, this problem has happened. Now, one of the biggest problems with the mind is, right from one's childhood, they have been… the mind has been imposed as to what is right and what is wrong, morality. This is the major problem. People have taught you what is good and what is bad, because good and bad are very strong points of identity. Very strong. Whatever you consider as good, you naturally get identified with it. Whatever you consider as bad, you naturally repelled by it. You having aversion to something and you having attraction towards something is the basis of identification. Whatever you're averse to, it dominates your mind.